I really like using found materials because it's a great way to teach that you can make art out of anything. It could have another life. This is a bristle from a street sweeper. I've been collecting them for like 30 years. So these are perfect. They're still really flexible. They're not brittle yet. And these would be perfect for wrapping around one of the nests. I wish I could use this ivy. I love the idea of using something that people don't want. The project that I'm currently working on is called God's Eye, and it's a series of 150 nests. I picked the number 150 because that's the number of bird species that will be saved from extinction if we do something about carbon emissions right now. The basic structure of the nest is street sweeper bristles. It was a very exciting moment when I realized I finally had something interesting to do with them. All right. So one thing that is really important to me to see the voice of the natural material. So I kind of like the way this branch wants to just go off on its own. I think this was strapping around something I ordered. So then I'll look through materials and find different colors that are complementary, different textures that are complementary. I'm sort of like, what would a bird do? And then it has some of my art in there. This maybe. I decided to do this project because I had just read this article in the New York Times about how they're just finding more and more human detritus in actual birds' nests, including things like anti-bird spikes. I've often returned to themes in my art of the humans and nature struggle. In the center of each of my nests is an eye. I think the effect of the eye looking at you makes you think about your place in the waste stream. I come from a long line of woodworkers. My grandfather and great-grandfather were ranchers, but they always had a wood shop. Sometimes you just have to let the wood speak to you and decide what it's going to be. Love that. I could see using this. It's almost bird-shaped. My grandfather carved this sculpture. I just really love it. It's a great example of 1930s style. My great-grandfather was a clockmaker as a hobby. I got bicycle valve caps, tire valves. I don't know, I just save things. The Goodwill bins are a great place to just find weird discarded things. Here, this is my prized possession, this collection of supposedly wolf teeth. When I was still in art school, somebody gave them to me. He just bought a jar of them at some scary garage sale. I found this big stash of pencils. And I thought, oh, that'd be really interesting to embed them in just as a little design element, but not have it be too obvious. I'm more interested when a found object is subtly placed. I think it gives the viewer something to discover and also to talk about. I also really love when a found object inclusion makes somebody look a little closer. When I use found objects in work, like this old fuse, it's often the last thing I think of. Maybe it just needs something else at the end. I am drawn to birds for several reasons. One is they're just iconic as a form. I never get tired of exploring shape and posture, but I'm also drawn to birds just because I like them. It's really important to draw. Even though I don't take my sketchbook in the studio ever, it really stays in the house because I feel like my art is too rigid if I make what I've drawn. I'll start with cutting my shapes, and then I'll have the fabricator cut multiples for me out of aluminum. One of my favorite shapes that I really like. I love figuring out stuff, and I love working with my hands. My parents ran a craft gallery when I was in my teens and 20s in Eugene, Oregon. That was amazingly influential because not only could I start to sell my work there, I could also meet a lot of other artists. I just really felt so moved my entire life by the art others made, and that's just all I want to do, is just make art. One of my favorite projects was the wishing trees I did for the Ronald McDonald houses of Portland, Eugene, and Bend.
Hilary's art is so playful and fun and interactive. Her use of animals makes the wishing tree here, and really many of her art pieces, so connected to place, to Oregon, to our community.
It's been very meaningful to get to work projects that are designed to help people in need.
When a family is facing the serious illness of their child, they are desperately in need of hope, moments of joy, and peace. I absolutely think Hilary's work brings healing.
I make art because I simply don't have a choice. Without art, I would cry forever. Sorry. I really hope that the art that outlasts my lifetime will continue to make people happy and bring them joy and comfort.
Oregon Art Beat shares the stories of Oregon's amazing artists, and member support completes the picture. Join us as a sustaining member at opb.org/video.